You're listening to REI USA Podcast, your prime resource for genuine real estate growth. If you want to jumpstart your real estate career, whether in active or passive investing, this is the right show for you. Join professional home renovator Stacy Rossetti as she talks to REI USA teachers and expert investors willing to share their tips and tricks to get started in investing, sharing actionable advice in every area of real estate, all while putting legality, habitability, and safety above everything else. Combine their unparalleled advice with your strong drive for success, and that incredible real estate fortune will be yours. Now, here's your host, Stacy.
So everybody, this is David. Say hi to David. David teaches short sales is what he teaches. He's the REI USA teacher for short sales. And actually, the truth is, I'm so excited about the next couple of years. I am so excited. I would love for you to just give a brief update of what you think is going to happen in the next couple of years. And actually, I really want Darlene to do this as well too, just because of the mortgage crash that's about to happen. And so what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'll cover that in my presentation. That's what everybody always wants to know. Okay,
good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for hopping on. Everybody say hi to David, and I'll just give you the floor. You've got 27 minutes.
Okay. I will share my screen then, hopefully. That gets you
there. You go. Looking good.
Now I think I might be good to go. Okay. So I will go ahead and get started. So welcome to the REI USA Summit for Raising Capital. My presentation is how to raise a $100,000 profit short sale case. We're going to go through that. So I do have to apologize, Stacy. I thought we had 1 hour. I didn't read the directions. Okay, so 30 minutes means I'm going to have to skip some slides and move really quickly with it. So I apologize for that. So just have to keep up really quick with it. But basically, my take on every presenter today is going to have a different avenue, a different way of raising $100,000, right? And so you can go borrow it, you can, syndicate it, you do things. So what I'm going to present to you today that you're not probably going to hear with other people is there's one way to raise $100,000. It's to sell a house. Yeah, you can sell your lawnmower, you can sell your car, but how about if you sell a house? That's one way to raise $100,000 capital on it. And so now that's a little hard to do, right? Most people rehab houses and they sell them for $20,000 profit. Maybe the good rehabbers do $30,000. It just depends on, how much Mike, our wholesaler here is charging them for his wholesales. Mike is coming up after me on the wholesaling, but, with short sales, you're able to make $100,000 profit on just one house. So I thought, Stacy, this would be a great, presentation since that's, my wheelhouse is short sales. Okay, I don't do foreclosures. You want to know all about foreclosures, you go to Darlene. Okay, but you want to learn that little niche, that little piece called a short sale. That's my area. So I said, wow, I'm just going to pull out a case study of a house that I made $100,000 profit on. So that is what my presentation is going to be about. Now, everybody always wants to know what the data is, right? They're always, what's happening in the market right now, and the homes are selling so quickly, and there's a foreclosure moratorium that was in place, and from 2 years and stuff. And so I'm going to give you a quick update. You can get these slides by texting my phone number on the bottom of the screen, because I'm going to fly through these. I give you the reference to the article, and I pull out the piece that's kind of important from it. So basically, Black Knight, report here, everyone needs to know that the mortgage moratorium ended July 31st last year, okay, after 18 months of millions and millions of people not making their mortgage payment. And the very first month in August alone, foreclosure starts, okay? Those things that Darlene's been waiting on for 18 months, okay? Darlene's had a tough time in foreclosures at the courthouse steps and that part of her business because there weren't any foreclosures. Well, 1 month alone, the first month, they increased 27% on foreclosures. Now, does that affect me on short sales? Actually, not one bit whatsoever, because I was doing short sales the whole time because, as I'll explain the definition of a short sale, all a short sale is, you missed one house payment. That's it. You don't have to be on the courthouse steps. You can do a short sale when they've missed one payment. Now, I will tell you that if they have a foreclosure date, they are highly motivated. And so your success rate dramatically increases. And so that started in August of last year. Okay. And so now in March of 2022, there are over 1.5 million seriously delinquent loans. That means people that are over 120 days late on their mortgage. And most of these are 18 months or 2 years late with it. Over 1.5 million homeowners in this position. Now, I want you to put your investor hat on here, okay? This is not being a realtor. This is being an investor. We make money. We make profit on these houses. We reach out and we help these families out. There's 1.5 million of these people in trouble, okay? So this is MBA or Black Knight data. Actually, sorry, this is not Black Knight. This is MBA. So I got the reference to the Mortgage Banker Association on it. And this is the report that just came out May 5th, that the delinquency rate for all loans in America is 4.1%. But I want you to focus on that last line on the bottom. You're asking Stacy about what's going on in the market. FHA delinquency rate is 9.58%. Can you imagine that? 1 out of every 10 FHA loans in America are delinquent. That is cataclysmic. I can't even say or spell those words, but that is just horrible on the FHA side of that. These were just some recent statistics, the quantity of people, how it breaks it down between Fannie Mae, FHA, and other types of loans. With it, here's some more Black Knight data. This shows you the forbearance plans and their expirations. It's hard to read that, but those high bar charts are back in the October 21 timeframe. And that's when those forbearance expirations took place, which sent these people into a panic because now they can't just hide behind, COVID anymore. And so now, we're seeing the ramifications as the banks staff up to handle it. Give you a perspective, I really want you to focus on the left-hand side. 30,000 foreclosures a month pre-COVID. So normal month, normal time pre-COVID, 30,000 a month is about what happened. That's a lot of houses, even there just for the normal market with it. And during COVID times, you saw it was greatly reduced on the right side. That's not what I want you to calculate out. I want you to go back to my 1.5 million number, and I want you to divide that by 30,000. That's how many and how long it would take right now to be able to foreclose on everybody. We're going to be busy with short sales and foreclosures, and Darlene will never be able to retire. Okay, you need to check out her presentation on foreclosures. She's going to have foreclosures, for a very long time with it because of the mass quantity that are in there. Now, some people say, but David, home prices are rising like crazy. And I agree, I just had a student that listed his home for $245,000 and he sold it for $302,000. Okay. So that's the best of both worlds, right? If on the side of selling, the prices are going up, but on the side of selling, you can do a short sale and look at making $100,000 on a case study I'm going to show you. But people say there's not going to be any short sales. Well, this is a report from last year. It is not for this year, okay? But what it shows you is that basically, if you add the two together, 29% of all FHA loans have less than 10% equity. It's math, guys. What is a short sale? You owe more than what it's worth. That's two numbers, okay? Two numbers. What you owe minus what it's worth. What it's worth has been going up, but everybody forgets the other number. What they owe has been going up too. So ta-da, there's a lot of them. Now it doesn't matter. You don't even have to have somebody who's underwater. This is a terrible statistic over 30 years from Black Knight that says that homeowners in foreclosure that have 40% equity, they could snap their fingers and sell their home instantly and not go to foreclosure. 1/3 of those, 30%, will lose their homes to foreclosure, short sale, or deed in lieu, because it's not about the debt. It's not about what the house is worth. It's about their mental state. They are in trouble. They need your help. they lost their job, they've got health reasons, they can't make proper decisions, and you need to step in and be able to help them, in that short sale situation where, they can't make that decision. Okay. Quickly, there's 1.6 million fewer jobs today than in February of 2020 than the pandemic. Yeah, wow, we think this market's great, right? I can't hire anybody. I'm hiring people and I can't hire them. But yet there's 1.6 million fewer jobs out there, okay? March of 22, the number of permanent job losers is 1.4 million. That's a lot of people. There's 1.5 million who can't make their payment. I bet you it's most of those 1.4 million that permanently lost their job, okay? And so this is kind of a teaser here. There is a schedule for who's being foreclosed on and when, okay? It's kind of interesting. What do you struggle with? Okay, now who am I? I'm going to fly through this because if you're an REI USA member, you probably already know who I am, but the caveats on this is it's educational, training purposes. I'm not any of those things on there. I'm not a realtor, guys. I want to be really clear. I am an investor, okay? I'm not a realtor. I have them on my team. I'm not an actor. None of this is a legal or tax advice. This is just my experience over the past 11 years. A little bit about me. I'm an engineer. I'm very anal, full-time entrepreneur, chemical engineer. I actually did quit my job at age 42, homeschooled my kids, and then they went to college. And I went, whoops, what do we do now? So I started real estate with my wife in 2010. I'm just a small guy. Okay, I'm not a syndicator. I don't work for somebody else. I'm just a regular guy. But one of the things that's kind of special about what I do, I'm a rehabber, 5 to 10 houses a year. All my renovated houses listed under 260 have sold at list price or above for over 10 years now. Okay, I make $90,000 profit per house. Okay, on an average, I basically make $50,000 to $150,000 profit, on each house by negotiating short sales. Now, I want people to write this down. This is not a short sale on the MLS. I do not work with realtors on the MLS who have a short sale classification. I work with a homeowner and negotiate with the bank. Okay, I do the negotiations. I don't pay a flat fee to a organization to do the short sale for me. I do in my business, for me, what you're about to see, the negotiation of the short sale with the bank and the homeowner. Okay, because of short sales, I have over $3 million in my IRA that I lend out to other rehabbers. My heart and passion is to help them get started, so I'll lend them all the money for everything. 2018, I started doing one-on-one coaching because of that. Then in 2019, I presented my first ever presentation on short sales, and I'll just summarize that I've been teaching short sales ever since that time. People found out what I do, and so I've got several workshops. And so now, what is a short sale for those on here who may not know? Now, I highly encourage you, if you're not a member of REI USA, to join in, because you've got recordings of each of the supergroup leaders teaching the subject. I'm not going to teach you short sales in the 30 minutes that I thought I had an hour to do. And so basically, a short sale, though, real quickly, is, like I said before, where the homeowner owes more than what it's worth. But write this down. It's not the loan. It's not the mortgage. People so often think that it's the loan that's underwater. It's not. It's all of the debt. If they have a credit card judgment, if they have a federal tax lien, if they have a second mortgage, it's the sum of all the debt that is what's compared to what can I sell my house for. And people forget about that and stuff. So, with a foreclosure, there's usually a pending, there's a pending date coming up, and it could, be different in different states, and it is. In Missouri, they give you 2 30-day letters. So you might have 30 or 60 days. That's not enough time a lot of times to sell your house on the MLS the traditional way, and usually the house is in bad shape. You need a cash buyer. And Georgia's 30 days. You guys are lazy, by the way. Missouri's 21 days. Georgia, we have a lot of Georgia people, and I just offended them. But you have 9 more days than I do, okay, to stop that foreclosure and stuff with it and stuff. Now, here's something I get a lot of questions on too. Judicial versus non-judicial. Totally irrelevant, guys. The short sale process is federal. Okay, the only thing that changes between judicial and non-judicial is your marketing efforts. Okay, how long do you have to mail letters? How long do you have them to pull their head out of the sand? Okay, but the process of the negotiation and the paperwork with the bank for them agreeing to a lower price is identical. Okay, with it. Now then, buyers, they can't get a traditional loan. Okay, and that's because the banks want a cash as is buyer. Okay, so I'm going to fly through these. You guys can go back to the REI USA previous ones and learn more, but I want to get to my case study here with it and stuff. So, the bank is going to also help to pay them some money. If they don't do it, they're going to have a 300-point hit on their credit score. They may have to file bankruptcy if you don't step in to do a short sale. So by now, I think you kind of understand a little bit about what a short sale is. You do this for gratification and helping families out. They cry at the closing table with relief that you took a burden off of them. I'm crying because I'm going to show you a case study for $100,000. We're both crying at the closing table, but for different reasons. They're happy. We provide lots of jobs. Now here's the case study. Short sale case study, $100,000 profit. There's your address. Go look it up in public records. I'm very open with it and stuff. And just to recap, I'm sorry I flew through those slides. If you want the slides, text short to 636-685-2990. I'm this engineer, and I always hated when people did presentations and didn't give you the slides, and you have to write your hand notes, and you don't have it, and you want that website. So I, always give my slides out to anybody that wants them. So contact me on that phone number and stuff like that. So basically, this is a short sale. There's the address. Look it up on public records. This happened to sold in 2012. Okay, so what happened on this? How did this short sale work? What did we do on the short sale to get $100,000 profit? What were those numbers? Okay, so let's kind of work it backwards. Okay, this is a short sale that was wholetailed. Now, wholetailing is a combination of selling your home retail or wholesaling it to another rehabber. So wholetailing is taking a home that kind of really doesn't need any work, and so you sell it to a retail buyer at a reduced price. So they get a great deal from you, and you didn't have to do any work with it. So I say my whole cost on this whole house was $500. I replaced some outlets in the basements because some kids stole the outlets, and I didn't want wires hanging out. I had to replace a ceiling fan remote, okay, because that would really tick me off. If the remote doesn't work with a ceiling fan. Sold the home for $370,000, okay. It was a big house, 6,000 square foot of living space. I mean, you saw the picture here. That's a nice house, okay. In-ground swimming pool with it. Okay, sold the house for $370,000. Okay, so what do you think I paid for it? I should have taken this slide out because you already know the answer, don't you? Okay, what's $370,000 minus $100,000, right? And so you're right. I paid $269,000. Okay, I made $100,200 in profit. Okay, so now does that answer your question? How to raise $100,000 in capital? Just sell a house. Okay, and my method is short sales. Okay, so I want to kind of go through a little bit, on this case study in the 10 minutes that we have. I don't know if I have any time for questions or not, but basically, oh, sorry, here's this little caveat here, just to make it a little interesting. What's the one thing they say about real estate, guys? What is it? What's that thing? Oh yeah, location, right? That's pretty universal. Everyone says that about real estate. The other one, they say it depends, right? You ask a real estate question and the answer is it depends. Well, I want to introduce a new one for you on this one here, okay? This was done in a Roth IRA, tax-free forever. This was done in a Roth IRA, tax-free forever. This was done in a Roth IRA, tax-free forever. So that $100,000 is never, ever going to be taxed at all. So is that really sweet? You can do short sales in your IRAs, okay? With it. Now, I always like to give out a freebie for those that are in REI USA. So if you text short to my number, I'll give you the one document that starts this entire process. Okay, so if you text short to 636-685-2990, I'll give you this free document that you can use, and it's what you have to do everything I just talked about with in short sales. Now, how did this work? Okay, what were we doing? Who were the parties? What were the amounts? People always ask me that. Well, how much was the loan and what was that? I want to be honest with you guys. I don't actually care what the loan is. You can look in the archives of other houses that I've done in REI USA, and you can see where I bought a house for $29,600 and I sold it for $275,000. It doesn't matter to me what the loan is. It does not affect the value of what you pay for the short sale. I'm going to repeat that. The loan does not affect the value you pay, okay, and stuff. And so I actually paid quite a bit for this house, okay. I paid 50 cents on the dollar, didn't I? They owed 440 and I paid, 260. It's one of the worst ones I've done. Okay, the worst on a percentage basis that I have done. However, when you have gross magnitude of $100,000 profit that you just sell like that in your Roth, you don't pass it up, do you? So now here's what was special about this. This was the first mortgage position was with a credit union, and the second mortgage position was also with a credit union. And those are very difficult, guys, because what happens is credit unions don't actually have to follow the same rules as Bank of America or Wells Fargo or some of the other big banks, that have Fannie Mae, FHA type loans. And so in this particular case, I was able to, get that price, that they accepted for it, but, it's not as easy of a process that you have in a normal short sale with it, because for one reason, the credit unions do not have to forgive the deficiency. So the deficiency is the difference between these loans of $400,000 and the fact that I bought it for $270,000. There's a $130,000 deficiency. They came after the homeowner for that. They don't forgive the deficiency. Now, I teach my students in REI USA, never ever do a short sale if you don't wipe the deficiency to zero. But see, credit unions don't do that. But you can't do the short sale, make $100,000 knowing that they're going to come after the homeowner for the deficiency. You can't do it. Just don't do it. You have to have integrity. And I said that to the homeowner. And I said, I have to back out of the deal. I can't buy it. Okay, the credit union is coming after you. And she said, no, I want you to do it anyway, David. She had her attorney write me a letter and compelling me to buy the house because she would just file bankruptcy later. And I said, no, I can't. I told you when I started that I wouldn't do this deal if you didn't have the deficiency wiped to zero. Well, here's what you can do as a little trick, guys, with the banks is I went back to the credit union and I said, what would it take to wipe the deficiency out? And they said, well, pay us $25,000 more and we'll wipe the deficiency out. Boom, in a heartbeat. So I could have made 125 grand on this house. Okay, but instead I made 100 grand and she had zero deficiency with it and stuff. Anyway, so, that's kind of the case study itself. I'm going to have to fly through these slides here. I thought it was an hour, but basically, where do you find these at? How do you find these kind of cases like that? Okay, so it's all about marketing. Okay, if you have trees in a forest, do they make a noise if they fall down? Well, no. If you're not there, it doesn't make a noise. I'll answer the question. If the tree falls in the forest and you're not there, it doesn't make a noise. So you need to go to the forest and you need to mail people, okay, on it. So, all states, the lender is required to post the legal description for a certain number of days in the legal newspaper, okay, where the property is located. So I don't teach you to go to www.foreclosureme.com. I teach you to go straight to the source, okay, with it. And so basically, you're going to go to their website and you're going to be able to get that data, from there. Now, basically, the homeowner's not expecting to get any money from the sale because they're underwater, but you can get the bank, to pay them some money. They're going to basically live in the house for a long time. These are just things that you tell, you find these people on the county, legal newspaper, internet version of the website. You need to turn your offer in on the house cash as is. See, that's where realtors make a mistake. They have a traditional buyer with a loan. Never, ever turn your offer in like that. Turn your offer in cash as is. You can come to closing with a loan. People don't understand it. I don't buy my houses in cash. Okay. Why would I do that? Okay. That's crazy. Okay. You should always have your house encumbered with a loan. with it. You need your money in the bank dry, ready to go. Never use your own money. That's why we're doing this entire all-day summit of raising funds. Okay, but you make your offer cash as is, come to closing with a loan. Okay, so here's one source of how to get them. I'm going to show you the county legal newspaper in Missouri, in Kansas City, in St. Louis. This is what it is. And it just costs a little bit more. We'll skip these slides. No time for this. Sorry, I thought we had an hour. Do we have any Georgia people on the line? Write this down right now. Okay, I'll leave it here for like another 5 seconds. Okay, if you're in Fulton County, okay, matter of fact, Stacy, I did an entire presentation on this in one of our things. They can get to it if they join the membership on Fulton County for all of our Georgia, Atlanta, nearby people with it. Write that down. I have to move on, okay, with it and stuff. Anyway, also, so, you want those websites, text short to my phone number. I want to try to leave the boys any time for questions. So marketing, this is not mass marketing. Okay, there are 50 people a month that I'm targeting. That's it. I've got over $3 million from mailing to 50 people a month. This isn't $5,000 a month mass marketing that you see a lot of people doing out there. Now, you do need multiple letters, multiple touches. It's a know, like, and trust. There's a lot of important factors in there with it. You tell them how you can avoid the foreclosure. There's all of them. There's no out-of-pocket fees. Never, ever, 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 ever charge them money. If you remember 2 or 3 things, this is one of them. You do not charge them any money to do the short sale. You are not a loan modification officer. You have no license. You're an investor, okay? Doing this for you. You tell this stuff in the letters here. I don't have time for that, okay? They're not going to get as much, if they put it on the MLS, they're not going to get as much money because they're going to lose commissions and everything else with it. So in summary, in St. Louis, there's 40 a month. In my county, in St. Louis County, there's 300 a month. How many do you need? I mean, come on, guys. I rehab 5 to 10 houses a year. How many do you need? Now, with the moratorium and the COVID, there's 5 times as many. There's 1.5 million people sitting out there, okay? And so these numbers are slowly increasing in foreclosures, and it's simply because the banks are not staffed up to handle it. So, so everybody in this group ought to be getting into Darlene's training program for foreclosures that she's got with REI USA. If you want to really help families out that are desperate and going to lose their home and they owe more than what it's worth, you can't sub to it, right? Why do you want to take over a $400,000 loan, for a house you can buy for $250,000? You can't sub to that, kind of thing with it. So very small niche. So I want to just leave, I'm out of time. So maybe Stacy, if you can just tell me if there's any questions. I don't know where the chat box is. I know I have to wrap it up. I apologize for having.
Well, so I mean, just tell everybody when you meet so they can hop on, because obviously this is a process that you can't learn in 30 minutes. So
Right,
when do you your REI USA teaching?
Yeah, that was on my first slide. The 4th Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern time, the 4th Wednesday of every month. But, join now because you get all the recordings, right? And so you can go back and get caught up on those before the next 4th Wednesday.
Well, and you go over this every time, right? In your session, you're going.
Well, I cover a different area because once again, you can't teach short sales in 30 minutes. So I pick an area. So you need to be a member so you can go back to last month, the month. So I cover each month, I cover a different marketing. I cover negotiation. I cover paperwork. Okay. Each session covers different stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good. So, I mean, at least they can hop on, they can ask you questions, and then they can just, get started by utilizing you.
Yeah, no, every session, is open question type thing. It's, it's about what I presented. It's also about any question about short sale with it and stuff. And so, I love, heck, you guys, I give you freedom, permission to just call me directly with a question. If you're working on a short sale and you got a family in trouble, don't wait till the next monthly Zoom. Go ahead and post it on Facebook, and I'll see it there. If it's urgent today, feel free to text me and I can tell you what I know about that bank, what I know about that lender, and what you might need to do to stop that foreclosure. We've been stopping them 2 hours before. We just did this yesterday. Okay, a VA loan, we stopped it 2 hours before the foreclosure with it. It's not fun and it's not easy, okay? And you're not going to do it if you don't know what you're doing. But, once again, you come and you learn, and then you can do that with it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of REI USA. Let these golden pieces of advice clear your path towards thriving real estate success and start making those amazing financial opportunities work for you. If you liked this episode and want to get more of these valuable secrets, be sure to subscribe to the show at www.rei-usa.com. Leave a rating too and share with your friends. Until next time.